Hi, I'm Dr. Mark, and I'm going to help you sing and perform more like the top artists around the world. I'm a professional voice teacher, performance coach, and opera stage director. I've helped thousands of singers around the world learn the techniques and methods that got the top singers to where they are. Let's talk about what makes EXO's performance of Obsession so awesome. Here we go.
제발 이제 그만 밤이 눈을 막아 그만해 넌 또 몰래 숨어들었지 잠든 귓가서 잠깐 다 쳐다보다 할퀴고 눈썹대 끝도 없이 속삭이는 목소리 Oh you the bad dream kid
So we're starting here with speech level, and it's rap-esque, and it starts to try to bridge a little bit into singing, but then pulls back. So what does that communicate to us? That's keeping the energy at, I shouldn't say a low level, because I don't mean a low level. It's actually really high energy, but it's building tension. We're expecting to hear singing at some point. We're not. There's this music, this beat going on, and everything seems to be driving forward and building tension. The other reason why this rap is building tension is because we know it has somewhere else it can go. There's potential there, right? So we're waiting for it to reach that potential. Not trying to say that speaking is better than singing or vice versa. They're just different modes of communication. What I am saying, though, is that we're waiting for what's coming next. And that's really exciting to the audience to have this potential sitting there waiting to see where they go with it. The other thing I want to point out here is the color palette that they're using. You'll notice that it's relatively consistent. There are a lot of different colors going on, but they all live in the same world. They're relatively saturated in colors. We have this red that's balanced out by kind of the mustard color that we see pop out every once in a while when we get back under more natural lighting. And we got these blues in the background that we then see come out in TV screens. Before this, we see this blue, red, mustard, and then grays, whites, blacks are kind of neutral in there. So what is our eye drawn to? What is the most dominant color here? Well, red is obviously what they're portraying a lot here. Why? Well, when you think Obsession, what color do you think of? Well, a lot of people would probably say red. It has that feeling of passion, and it has the intensity here that this music and text is calling for. So it works. So they're using a lot of this red and then breaking it up into more natural, less red dominated scenes and looks, then back to this red. We're jumping back and forth between real world and real people to maybe the psyche or inner world that is red dominated and is representing what our feelings are doing. And then we go back to real world and then back to this surreal, imaginary or emotional, psychological type of location, if you want to say location. So really cool. It's giving us a lot. It's helping us on a subconscious level disconnect from trying to read it as a sequential logical story, but instead see it more as an abstract, emotional, psychological story and narrative. So pretty cool. So when they're singing here, you'll notice it sounds abrupt and like they're chopping things up. But if you listen closely, the airflow is actually really consistent. They're not pushing any of these notes. It's like they're singing one fluid line. They're just stopping the sound for a moment and then continuing where they left off. There isn't an increase or decrease as they're addressing each of those shorter vocal lines. It's really one continuous line that's just broken up, which is really, really important. A lot of people, when they think of these broken up lines, staccato lines, they try to accent them with puffs of breath, by pushing, by straining, by stressing, by putting more energy behind it. And it doesn't need it. The music is doing it, their dancing's doing it, and just using the consonants and vowels in those shorter segments will also do it. We don't need to add to that with tension, stress, or pressing the voice or putting extra pressure underneath it to give any more extra punch. It's got enough on its own. It reads to us as this staccato kind of moment, right?
속에 쏟아대는 소리감을 let it blow 오감은 그것으로 쏠리고 곤두서고 들어온 나는 제멋대로 빚어 하나를 뜬 채로 잠들면 소리 없이 스며드는 the phantom I'm so sick 더럽이 불이 켜지면 네가 사라져 있게 날 위한다고 I don't think so 공감에게 파고들어 I don't think so 깊게 스며들어 I don't think so 혼란스러워 I don't think so I think whatever I don't think so 보이지도 마라 I don't think so 넌 날 다시 못 가져 I don't think so 집착하지 좀 마
Notice how quickly they're jumping from frame to frame to frame to frame to frame to frame to frame. What effect does it have on you emotionally and psychologically? The speed of frame change and the distance. So it's not just they're staying in one location and shifting angles, which would have a certain effect, but we're shifting locations, people, colors. It's really abrupt, huge changes really, really fast. What's the emotional psychological effect? Yes, exciting. It's also a little stressful, a little overwhelming to the senses, which again might create excitement for you, but it also might create this kind of dread almost, right? Of what's coming. We feel this kind of inevitable pushing forward. I would love to hear what you have to say. Comment down below. Let me know what these fast frame changes are doing for you and why they might be doing that with this music, right? Well, you'll notice that these ideas musically are really kind of fast, jumpy musical ideas. And so they're imitating that with what we're seeing in the video. So it works. It works really, really well. Cool.
Say what you like. 시간들을 알아 이젠 끝나간다는 걸 forget everything yeah.
Notice when it slowed down in this section here, the frame rate slowed down, the location changes slowed down, the intensity of the light stayed much more consistent, so we weren't jumping from dark to light, stayed relatively consistent. The panning slowed down, the action slowed down. It all calmed down and smoothed out for a moment, right? Really awesome and matching and helping us feel this emotional contrast and change. Pretty cool. So lots of really cool stuff going on. Two questions for you. One, in the moments where they brought out swords and arrows and all that kind of stuff, did your brain process that as actual violence happening to these people or as a metaphor? To me, it read as a metaphor, and it read as a metaphor because of everything that's been set up around it and because it wasn't a logical sequence of events. We see arrows going at this person, we see a sword fight, but then we see those same people again just fine a moment later. Also with the lighting and the costuming, it was surreal enough where it really felt more dreamlike, right? Where there's just snippets of different emotions and visual cues that give us a general feeling rather than a traditional story arc. What's interesting here is even though there's not a traditional story arc, there still is a progress and growth and decay within the musical structure, within what they're doing. They're just doing it in a more abstract, psychological, emotional type of rhetoric instead of necessarily a traditional story. That is really difficult. It's really difficult to pull off and to have it still be engaging, not be too disorienting, and to allow the audience to visually follow what's going on. This is the type of video where there's so much information. I think it would take a lot of times to go back and view it and really capture it and try to make coherent meaning from it. It seems like what they're trying to communicate is to get you to feel and to have a psychological and emotional reaction to what they're saying and what the music's doing first and foremost, rather than trying to put a story or narrative on top of it. Now, we can't help but in our minds start building a narrative and trying to make sense of it that way, and that's fine. So if you're really trying to make this more abstract kind of expression of what's going on with the music or the story, then approaching it more from a dream or psychological state, or jumping from specific moment to specific moment, even if they're big jumps, can be really effective. The key is to having enough continuity, still tying it to what's going on in the music and in the text, and making sure that we're seeing visually matches that. If it matches that, then our mind will start making sense of it and putting all the pieces together. So really, really interesting. Vocally, what I loved is when they sang, even when it was so abrupt in changing between rap and singing, or even within the sung line, these kind of staccato shorter moments versus these longer lyric melodies, that they kept the voice relatively smooth, unpressured, unforced. And the reality is, could they sing this way live, dancing, all this type of thing? Yes, sure. Watch the live performances. They definitely can maintain that level of consistent, easy singing for a long time. It sounded super easy, super sustainable, and was actually really lovely to listen to when I was able to get past the emotional intensity that was going on visually. It was actually a really gorgeous sound listening to those voices. So once again, really fascinating, interesting performance on the part of EXO and what they're presenting here in this video. Go check it out again. You can see the link down below. I want to check out some live performances and see how they differ. Don't forget to subscribe and click the like button. If you want me to react specifically to your performance or you singing, you can find me on Wizio.com, which allows you to send like a 5-minute clip or something of you doing something, and I'll give you specific feedback. Or you can book a time with me at mrperformingartstudio.com. I look forward to working with you online.